When I made the molds for the body, I added some extra thickness to the bottom of the shoes. And after I cut the casting sprues off, I go to the sander and I sand these flat and try them, make sure that they stand well. Back to the sander and reduce this extra thickness so it doesn't look like he has platform shoes. Bring it down to about like that. And again, check it to make sure it stands steady. These are the final castings. The conductor is cast in off-white, which is the original color of the plastic resin. The head and both arms are flesh tone. I colored the plastic resin with flesh tone coloring. So this color goes throughout. The casting sprue that came out of the center of the neck and it came off the ponytail resulted in virtually perfect castings for the head. And throughout the process, I have not seen a single flaw or bubble in the face. Occasionally, there'll be a little bit of an offset here in the neck, and that seam comes up through the hair and stops about here. That's very easily detailed and removed. On this one, you don't see much of anything. I made sure I put these sprues where they would not be noticed. You can round this off and texture it a little bit, sand this off flush, clean this up. That cannot be seen when it's on the conductor. The hand has an indentation where you will drill for the baton. There's an indentation where you drill for the shaft. The sprues have been cut off. And again, that's back here and on the bottom where you're not going to be able to see it. There's a little bit of an offset in the mold right here. That's very easily either just sanded down or filled with a little epoxy sculpt. This is going to be painted anyway. And once these are sanded off, you'll never see that. Same thing with the hand. Both of these will be sanded off. You won't see it. All of these arms have come out very good. The indentation for where you will drill it for the rod and the hands have come out very nice. A little bit of a mold mark coming up through here. The mold seam down through here is very slight. There's an indentation on both sides where you will drill the hole for the arm. There's an indentation where that hole should come through on the inside, as well as for the neck and the bottom support. There's an indentation where this will be drilled out for the head support. The mold marks are rear on the body. So when this is being viewed on the organ, you're looking straight at it. There's nothing back here that will be seen. There is a slight offset with this pocket. That's very easily fixed with epoxy sculpt. All the feet have been drilled, tapped, and the 440 socket head machine screws are in place. That's your mold seam that comes right up through here. Mold seam comes down through here. Pretty typical on all of these. Very easy, if there is a slight mold seam, that's very easy to clean up. And on the neck, and again, once that's filed, sanded, polished, it's going to have exactly the same color as the rest of this. And the faces have turned out perfect. The bow is perfect. These have turned out very nice. The hands and the details are all there. A little bit of a mold mark up through here. This is super easy to work with on this one. And the indentation for where it will be drilled. The arm with the fist will have a bit more of a mold seam on that side. There's none on this side. Same way on the arm. There is no mold seam on this side. It's all on the underneath side. Some of these, the arm with the fist, have a little bit of a mold mark that comes through here. And there can be a bit of an offset right here. I would prefer that people would fill that with a little epoxy sculpt and sand it back down. When that's painted, that totally disappears. My camera does not want to give a clear indication of the difference between the flesh tone and the natural off-white color of the casting resin. The kit will include the body, both arms, the head, the feet have been sanded. The figure stands perfectly erect on its own, and both legs have been drilled, tapped for 440, and the machine screws and washers are installed in the feet. There will be 3 of these axle collars or wheel collars, and the set screws have been replaced with these short socket head cap screws. It was my intention to have 2 or 3 of these put together and painted by the time I got to the end of this project. My painter fell down and broke her wrist, so that's not going to happen in the near term. If you were able to successfully build the Senior 20 organ using the plans that you received, you'll have no trouble completing this conductor figure and getting him to work in your organ. The first thing you would want to do when you get one of these kits is wash it with soap and water, dishwashing detergent, and a vegetable brush or a toothbrush. Scrub it good. You want to get all of the mold release off of this so that your paint will stick. Wash it well, scrub every crack and crevice with a toothbrush or a vegetable brush, rinse it well, dry it, and then you're good to start working on it. When I built the John Smith Senior 20, I made enough parts to build 2 of them. The second one hasn't been assembled. I've been waiting to get one of these conductors to go into that assembly. I hope you've enjoyed this video series on making this. Sometime in the future, I hope to show one of these working in the front of one of my organs. I've made a limited number of these. People who have indicated an interest in these will have the first opportunity to buy them. If you think you want one of these, you might want to go ahead and order one now, because if and when they're gone, I already have all the conductors I need for my purpose, and I doubt seriously that I'll go through the process of making these again. This has already taken up way more of my time than I expected. I hope you want one. These have come out very, very nice. The indentations on these castings are all made by a 3/32 hole. You want to drill a 3/32 hole that is at right angles this way and this way. Your drill bit will go in here and it will exit where this little pocket is or indentation is on the inside of the box. Same thing here. You drill your 3/32 hole at right angles to this face and it will exit right here. Now you do the same thing for the neck. Make sure you're square. The drill bit will exit here and you continue and drill out this support point. When you are drilling this, make sure your drill bit is square this way and this way. And you want to be square to this section, not square to the coat or the shoulders. You want to be square to this piece. You come in at that drill bit. When you come down here, if you're a bit misaligned on that hole this way or that way, just bring your drill bit back. Just let it run. Open that hole up a little bit until that drill bit goes right in there. That's where you want that to be. There's a fairly easy way to line up your drill bit with the surface on this. Take one of the wheel collars that comes with your kit and put it over your 3/32 drill bit. If there's a gap on one side or the other, it's not square. If that wheel collar is sitting exactly square, you're good to go in that direction. You look this way and you make sure that it's sitting flat here. So it's sitting flat there, it's sitting flat here. Drill the hole. Come over on the other side, do exactly the same thing. And you do the same thing for the neck. You put that collar on there and make sure that it's sitting flat this way, and then drill the hole. You drill a 3/32 hole in your arms. You put that on that shaft in there, I'll guarantee you that will not line up. There's too much flexibility in the silicone mold. You're not going to get that type of precision. You drill it 3/32 and then you re-drill it 7/64. That gives you room for your epoxy to go in there, and it gives you some slop to get that aligned, and then that will align perfectly. If you put this on the other side, you try the other arm. If it doesn't quite line up, then take your 3/64 drill bit, just wallow it around in there a little bit, and then it will line up. And then follow the instructions I gave in the other video about how to attach the arms. Unfortunately, I had to use the center of the neck for a casting sprue location. Just sand that off, locate the approximate center, drill it, then ream it out to 7/64, and make it fit. That one fits pretty good. There's still some flashing on here, so this doesn't want to turn, but that fits well. At this stage, everything's been drilled, the wires have been installed. These are not glued on yet, just the wires have been cut. Everything will line up. I spent less than an hour getting these three to this stage. And if you do something silly, lose track of what you're doing, drill a hole through there, just put some epoxy sculpt in there. When it sets up, sand it off, and carry on.